So, yeah, making a video. Thunderf00t response video. His videos are kind of hilarious. I don't think he ever made a video explaining that the contest is not going to be a contest anymore. So he sort of just, cheated on that one. But speaking of cheating, okay, so he titled the video, "What Makes Mankind Great? Fast Cars or Beautiful Women?" Okay, this video has absolutely nothing to do with that. Actually, the subject of the video is ways of naming or labeling data and information in society that are useful and constructive and valuable. And here he's labeled information. He's mislabeled it quite deliberately. And it's just so ironic. He's going to talk about the value of metadata, and then he commits the crime of producing fraudulent, fake, crappy metadata. Oh, I mean, amazing. I'm really you're just like, what the fuck? Really, what the fuck? Silly person. Crazy is the definition of this behavior. Oh, okay, now that's just a promo. Yeah,
the two biggest amplifiers on the potential of mankind are the ability to work in groups and the ability to create and access knowledge.
To create and access knowledge, well, that might work. This group thing hasn't done us too much good, right? I mean, let's get real. I mean, it's just turned into a mob, and mobs are really dangerous, so that one's probably got us into a lot of trouble. Having a brain, and having the fact that information evolves through time, you incrementally add to the understanding, and you just keep making improvements to your understanding in terms of detail and accuracy, and yes, that's a good thing. But I don't know if we can take too much credit for that one. I mean, realistically, that's sort of inevitable, and it certainly could be argued that we're way behind where we should be if we didn't get distracted by a bunch of fast cars and women. Now, I mean, looking at the question, right, fast cars or beautiful women, which one's, makes mankind great? They're both basically the thing that destroys us, right? They're both things that just, terrible distractions. Both of them have diminished greatness, not enhanced greatness. I mean, just, yeah, so, sorry. Both get old and expensive. Yeah, and they don't work very well after a while.
These are the two key features that took us from the Wright brothers to landing on the moon in about 70 years. Indeed, it's arguably the prime difference between modern civilizations and those of a few hundred years ago.
That doesn't even make any sense. I mean, obviously, if civilizations a few hundred years ago, they had some kick-ass civilizations, and if they had any kind of technology at all, ooh, wow, amazing. So their potential, I mean, come on, Rome, you're going to sit there and compare what we have now, the slop and chaos? I mean, Rome with technology? Ooh, no contest.
Further, given the ability to spread knowledge, it's a badge of shame for mankind that I can pick up a portable electronic device that would have put Star Trek of only 20 years ago to shame. Burned, Witchcraft, 2012. And use it to see that there are still parts of this world where people are burnt for being witches. And it's this...
Yeah, groups of people do that, right? I mean, individual people probably wouldn't occur to them to do that kind of crap. But when they get all together and they get some wacky person preaching at them about something, they get wacky ideas. Yeah. This video is not really going to have a point. You watch. It's just not going to have a point. Not a coherent one.
Ability to access knowledge that has been most affected by the internet age. And given what it's done for society of late, doubtless this will continue to play a dominant role in how our civilization changes over the coming decades.
Yeah, well, whatever. Coming decade? I mean, you're going to measure change by decades again? I mean, that's so dangerous, right? Because, decades are sort of losers in a lot of ways. So, I don't know. I think we've all been a little bit disappointed in the you know, the 2000 thing wasn't as big as 2000. You know, I didn't have no floating car, I didn't have no monorail-y things, all that kind of crap. And, you know, so, I mean, and here we are, 2013, it's like we haven't done much at all, you know, since 2000. I mean, yeah, you got your little devices, but, I mean, there's just, you know, what's tweet, you know, you need your device to get the latest tweets about, you know, how somebody's anal warts is doing. I mean, it just isn't very compelling in terms of meaningful.
This is particularly relevant for the key aspects of information flow in our society, and that's delivering knowledge to the next generation, or, well, education. And
delivering knowledge. Well, really, you don't have to deliver it anymore, right? I mean, you just make it accessible. So that's the real catch there. Delivering, it keeps sounding like you have to force it down somebody's throat, and the real problem is that people don't have access to it. It's the problem, and some of them don't have access to it because those groups of people are telling them they can't have access to them.
Discovery and publication of new knowledge. That's scientific research. In the internet age, the metadata can be as important as the actual data itself.
Right. So the metadata on your video is what makes mankind great? Fast cars or beautiful women? Well, that's sort of a lie. Let's see what he put over here in the tags. What makes so what is not a very useful metadata word. Makes is not a very useful metadata word. So you're just adding noise to your metadata here. Mankind great. Apollo, moon, science. Okay, I don't think there's going to be that much in here. Chemistry, physics. Okay, so you could have put biology and then, you know, finished your little triumphant threesome there. American, why is that in here? Chemical, okay. Society, I don't know if that's really what you're going to talk about. Outreach, what the hell is this here? What outreach? You think this is like an outreach video? Call 1-800-Thunderfoot. If you're not confused enough and you don't have everything upside down and backwards, call Thunderfoot for some outreach. Come on. Astronomy, I don't think you're going to do any of that in here at all. Molecular, well, that's sort of chemistry and it's sort of chemical. Biochemist, it's not even a whole fucking word. Biochemist, space, ISS, these are tags. So your metadata absolutely sucks on this video. So meta what? Yeah, meta what? It's like you don't even understand the concept at all. Way behind the curve here, fella.
Now, arguably this has always been true, which is why books have had indexes and libraries have had card catalogs and hard disks had file allocation tables. It's not that the data doesn't exist without that.
Well, see, this would be the example you should stop at, and you should say to yourself, why doesn't the internet look like this? Okay, instead we have an internet covered with billboards, covered with make me some money, give me some money if I access this, let's push all these books to the front because they have ads on them, blah, 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 blah. It's all this chaos and middlemen and people shystering and all kinds of salesmen all over the place and all these little hallways trying to sell this shit. So I'm selling this information, I'm selling this information, I make money if you do this, you click on this, click, 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 click. Well, how come the internet doesn't look like this? That's the question you should be asking and answering with the rational response, which is because we gave the internet to capitalist whores. You know, why do nuclear power plants fail? Oh, that's right, because we gave nuclear power to capitalist whores.
Metadata. It's just that your ability to access it is increased by orders of magnitude by that metadata.
He's basically saying that indexes is good, okay? Yeah, indexes kick ass, and that's what we need is some good, clean indexes. But we don't have that.
However, as the amount of data available to mankind has skyrocketed, the ability to find data...
Alright, map of scientific collaborations from 2005 to 2009. So this is a map of scientific collaborations. But let's concede some points here, right? Let's not play games. Information is becoming more and more valuable to copyright notice, you know, to I own it. There's a lot of people out there who want to own a process, own a procedure, own. And that desire to own, that prioritarianess, is destroying so much functionality, because now there's all these companies have to compete with each other, so they all have platforms that aren't compatible, so people doing one thing can't communicate with people doing the other thing who are, you know, members of the other big brother corporation, and this is so destructive to any of this, what you're talking about, this collaboration thing. This collaboration thing is getting is less active, not more active, I think, quite obviously. Everything's becoming proprietary. I own it. I can make money off it. Infinitum.
Has become an increasingly more important aspect of its value. The most obvious example of this is that, to a good first-degree approximation, if information doesn't appear in the Internet...
Alright, if information doesn't appear in the Internet search engine, so he's done this before, and now he's done it again, so obviously he doesn't watch my videos. Too fucking bad, huh? Well, maybe DPR Jones or that other asshole twat will sit there and let him know. I don't know, maybe it's a possible... Maybe somebody should just let him know that he really shouldn't use... Alright, he's going to talk about now, and how now is really doing well, and blah, blah, blah. And he's using this image, which must be from, like, 1956. I mean, get real. CompuServe? I mean, what fucking planet are you on, okay? Doesn't exist. WorldNet. AT&T WorldNet. I mean, are you kidding me? Dogpile isn't a search engine, it's just a compilation engine. Earthlink? You have Earthlink on here? Excite, dead. Alright, Google, the only one left. Owner, Monopoly King. Big letters, Hearst newspaper. You know, Rosebud. Anyway, info space. Come on, MSN. There you go. So this is still alive, but now this is Bling, okay? So all you have is Bling and Google. Netscape, are you kidding me? Shopping.com. Oh, this was just such a great search engine. Yeah, no, I mean, it was just about, you know, obviously, payola. Yahoo doesn't have its own search engine. So here, this is us just a big, so here's another piece of metadata, data talking about a circumstance. I guess it's data itself, and it's complete crap. So you got complete crap in here, calling it information. You don't think this kind of misinformation, you think information that's that illegitimate and inaccurate would get us to the moon? Yeah, no, I think that would get you to the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. The Atlantic Ocean.
Search engines. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, well, your fantasy of the internet search engines doesn't exist. Alright, there's the Google index, okay, which is selling advertising. The biggest marketing company in the world is running the internet. The biggest marketing company in the world is running the internet, is describing it, is metadataing it, is indexing it, and that should bother somebody besides me.
Total value of a scientific researcher's discovery is a product of its inherent value, practical application, or enhancing our understanding, and the metadata associated with it. Put simply,
total value of discovery equals utility of idea. Well, see, you didn't even get to that utility part. I mean, obviously it has to have some usefulness, not just the fact that it makes you smarter. It has to make you smarter in the context. So obviously you could give me the information about how to make a nuclear bomb, but that might not be a good idea. So the total value of the discovery, might be slightly diminished if you give tools to apes. Okay, you give jackhammers to monkeys. It might not be a good idea because they might, you know, break something important.
In a vast sea of information, if your discovery is hard to find, it will have a diminished impact. And given how important this...
Yeah, well, this is more about ideas, right? It'd be just so much better just to call these ideas instead of being such a whore for your science thing. I mean, there's lots to science, but yeah, the more important thing is information of all kinds of information, not just utility information, but information about how to use things. Not just information about how to do it, but how to use it. You know, why? These kind of questions are important questions also. So again, I think you're underestimating the real value matrix, and that somehow we do need to change the environment, so people are more interested in how people think rather than how they sing. How well do you sing? This seems like something people are obsessed with, is singing and dancing. They seem quite obsessed with how well people sing and dance, and they don't seem too interested in how well people think, which that is the real problem here. The big one.
It's metadata errors. It's amazing just how many blank stares you get when you talk to scientists about it. And they're the ones who are creating this new knowledge. Now, traditionally...
Yeah, well, that's another issue, right, is specialization and the fact that, yeah, you can only fit so much crap in here. And so if you have a whole bunch of trivia and nonsense in here, you're not going to go anywhere. And certainly if you're a scientist and you're devoted to a subject, you really have to know your shit nowadays, because there's a lot of shit to know. Because, you know, in the old days, it wasn't that tricky, right? There's only like 6 facts for every subject. And, you know, the books are really thin on the subjects, but now they're really fat because there's lots of information. So, yeah, it's a lot harder now to be an expert.
The scientific community has been about 5 years behind the trailblazers in embracing the new information accessibility features that cyberspace offers, and the educational community even further behind that. Some notable examples is just how long it took scientific databases to get decent, user-friendly search engines.
Well, this is sort of boring. Yeah, well, you know, frankly, they don't really need a search engine because most of the articles aren't even publicly accessible, which is really a bummer. Well, not most, but a lot. But that's sort of, the inconsistency of public accessibility is sort of annoying too.
Such as the things that you now get on SciFinder and Web of Science. Even though things like Google have been doing this for years, or how long physical paper submissions persisted into the...
Well, I know, but see, this is all part of the structure issue. So again, you just pointed to Google, but the fact is there was no standards, okay? The standards died in like 1995 or whatever, and nobody decided to put any energy into reestablishing new and improved kind of standards. And so, yeah, so everything is, you know, somebody who doesn't want to sit there and pay a private corporation to do their search indexing is sort of stuck with 1995 publicly accessible tools. But yeah, a little bit of work, you can do it, right, blah, 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 blah. So this part's kind of boring.
Digital age. And only now are scientific journals starting to pick up on some of the more popular elements that have been available elsewhere on the web for years.
Yeah, I don't know if those elements are all that useful, though, right? You mean tweeting and Facebooking scientific articles? I don't know. I don't know.
For instance, the ability to leave a comment on a paper, or...
Oh, yeah, the brilliant commenters. Who could live without them? Man, they're such a contributor. They make such a valuable contribution to the conversation, while everybody wastes their time explaining how their nose isn't that big. My nose isn't that big. Fuck you. What do you mean my nose? Oh, I know it's a little big, but you know, it's not that big. Yeah, the commenters are just so fucking cool. Everybody's life is so much better because there's graffiti on the internet. Oh, yeah. Cool.
To link it to social media, or even to use targeted adverts as a revenue stream.
Yeah, as a targeted advert. So do a fucking promo for targeted adverting as a revenue stream. Like there isn't something about, well, why don't you sell lottery tickets, right? You can have a page about the ethical manipulation of ignorance and stupid people, right? A scientific article on the grotesque manipulation of ignorance and stupidity in the world, and you could have a targeted ad selling lottery tickets. Yeah. That wouldn't make any kind of nonsense sense, right? That would be a perfectly sensible thing to do. Yeah, a targeted ad about whatever, McDonald's, right next to the article about how it's just plain, you know, nasty to be, you know, exploiting poor little sentient creatures for your silly gratification when you could just eat a, you know, you could just eat a bowl full of calories made out of almost anything and be happy doing it if you have the right brain.
However, in many ways, the most obvious thing that the scientific literature has not embraced is new media. Previously, journals were technologically...
Yeah, well, new media sucks. I mean, yeah, I can see why scientists don't really want to hang out with cute kitty, jackass videos. Look, I lit my fart. I can see why scientists might not want to be glued right next to light my fart videos.
Bound to publish papers by spraying ink onto parchment made from mashed up trees. This is just not true in the realm of cyber publishing.
Gee, duh. I think the scientists know that part. I don't think you have to explain to them that you can make little digits and writing and stuff on the internet. Yeah, I think they know that. You don't have to actually make paper and put it into the computer so it makes the screen white. I think they know that.
Fact that journals have been slow to wake up to. There is no need to limit figures to something.
Yeah, whatever. It's all proprietary information. Again, let's go back to all this copyright crap, right? We'd have more books online. We have a lot of stuff online, but somebody owns all this stuff, right? And that's the problem. Is people get to own it for 70 plus, 30 plus, 90 plus, 40 years. It goes on and on and on and on and on, and we never get this shit public domain the way it should be.
That could be sprayed onto paper, when you can simply embed a three-dimensional crystal structure using something like JavaScript. And while the academic community has been very reluctant to break from the traditions in terms of publishing work in a permanent hard copy paper, this format does, in many ways, have some inherent drawbacks that really don't occur in other forms of cyber publishing.
Oh, whatever. But I'm sure these are all like PDF files, right? So that's the other catch, right? Using proprietary software to view files on the internet, to lock them away, to keep them from anybody putting them into searchable text, which is another huge liability, blah, 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 blah. You can go down all these lists of bullshit.
I mean, as a recent example, I seem to have caught the American Chemical Society out.
I don't know. It's okay. So there's something he caught in here. Apparently he's in here somewhere where he got caught. Okay, let's see. He caught something. He got caught or he caught them. Yeah.
Completely. When I recently submitted a video summary of one of my more recent papers. Even though...
Wow, terribly interesting. So G does loopy-loop and S does loopy-loopy-loop. Wow. Ooh, cool, cool. Ooh. You're going to have to sprinkle some candy on that one. Yeah, I need some sparkles or glitter, please.
YouTube had been able to seemingly handle this stuff for almost...
Embedded as standard HD video. I don't even think you need HD for this one, buddy. But whatever.
A decade. It's my opinion that skills such as these will become increasingly more important in the scientific and educational media. That these will...
Oh, wickety wackety. Yes, whatever. All these promo skills, right? It's all you're saying. We got to market science. We got to make it look all wacky and wooky. Let's make it all do wickety wackety stuff. It'll be cool. Everybody will tune in to see the little orange thing survive. Tune in to Orange Thing Survivor 97. Let's see if it survives.
Be vital skills for the next generation.
Blah, 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 blah.
In the information age, success in both the scientific and educational media producing forums will be significantly mediated by those producers who have recognized that there is a competitive attention economy out there.
Competitive attention economy. I just don't see how this video had anything to do with the competitive attention economy. It talked about metadata, so you basically said this is what you have to do. Scientists lie more. Okay, so instead of calling your paper the thermodynamic molecular transformation of Mook to Zook, call it big boobs, baby. Yeah, so instead of having a scientific paper with formulas in it and title, just say big boobs, baby. Yeah, that's what these scientists have to learn, is how to be oversellers of shit. I get you.
Irrespective of whether it's the scientific community, the educational arena, or...
Note, balloon fired off to right. Note, balloon fired off to right. Well, I note that. There's fire here, balloon firing off to the right. Yes, I note that.
Even the popular
balloon flying to the right
of the work will consist of the ability to convey concepts and how many people get to see
mass 4, 10, 12, yes.
Understanding more stuff and that the potential of
more understanding, more stuff. Understand, big boobs, baby.
mankind is essentially dictated by how much collective knowledge we have.
Yeah, no, I don't think the collective knowledge thing is really the game. I don't think that's a concept in itself, really, collective knowledge. Obviously, you need enough, a little information is a dangerous thing, the danger of half-truths. There's lots of implications to this. And so what the human race needs more than anything else is standards that prevent it from doing something completely wacky. We know we're vulnerable, right? Because it's all this money whoring. So we know that there's going to be some Chinese guy that's going to read some scientific paper online about how he can genetically manipulate a microbe, and he's going to make fucking Frankenmobe. Okay, it's going to be one hell of a badass piece of shit he's going to create, and it's just going to get loose, and we're going to have to deal with it, and it's going to eat all the wheat on earth or something, and create some sort of monstrous, horrible tragedy. Because, yeah, there is no standards. Information can be very dangerous, Thunderfoot, and it seems like nobody's thinking about how to compile information and store information. We should be making a big pile of information available to people, and there should be a big pile of information that ain't so available.
I figure that's going to make the world a better place.
Yeah, well, just dream on. Better than what? Really? Doing what? Better how? Improved through what mechanism? Grotesque irresponsibility empowered by super technology. It doesn't sound like a very good combination. Monstrous recklessness and super technology. Let's crash those two things into each other and see what happens. I think 9 times out of 10 it's not going to be a good thing. So good luck with your little happy talk, but I don't think you have a future, to tell you the truth. Yeah, I don't think mankind has any kind of sunshiny day future. There's no rainbows, okay? They're going to be shit bows. They're going to be sewage bows. They're going to be monstrous, horrible, oh, the ocean is a foot higher. I wonder how that happened. Bows. Let's blame it on somebody. Let's blame it on Gary. Gary did it. Yeah. See? Anyway. So whatever. This was just a useless video. What is the point of your video? There was no point here, right? There was just no coherent message in this video at all. What do I do, Thunderfoot? Tell me, what do I do? How do I do? How do I help you make the world a better, shinier place? How do I do it? How do I help? No answer. He doesn't give you an answer to the question. Write an article about how great big boobs are. Except that the article will be about how to mow your grass in the rain. Yeah, that's just, everybody mistitle everything. That'll fix it. Fuck. Earth. Yeah, Jesus. Oh, Jesus, if I was an alien, this would be funny. I'd just be like, Earth. Oh, God, you gotta be kidding. Oh, fucktards. Yeah. I got some technology for you.